Welcome back. Today I'm going to try to play another live rapid game on Lichess. Let's just switch over there right now. I'm going to play a 10-minute game with no increment so it doesn't go on too long. If you're wondering why I'm wearing a t-shirt, I don't know when you're watching this, but I'm recording this in February and it's 89 degrees outside. It's really warm. This is unusual even for Texas. Wherever you are, I hope your weather's doing fine. 89 isn't bad for us, but it's very unusual for February. Okay, I'm going to click 10 plus 0. Hopefully this will be cropped correctly. It looks like it is. Okay, I'm rated slightly higher than my opponent who has started with the English. I think I can just play e5 here. I know that's the English, but I don't face it often enough to really have a defense against it. I am playing against a hobo who is taking their time with their second move. Maybe they're unfamiliar with the English offense or the English, whatever it's called, the English opening. Okay, I think that's normal. What do I do now? Do I just get this knight out and put the bishop over there and castle? They're going to put that bishop over there. I'm going to put this bishop here and then castle, I think, depending on what they do. They pull the pawn up. I don't know if I'm supposed to take that knight or not, because again, very unfamiliar opening. Oh, they're going to put the queen out there. Oh, right. Well, I could protect it with a pawn, but then they'll pull their pawn up there. So I guess I can pull that bishop back. Or should I try to protect it with the knight? Let's use this opportunity to develop another piece. And they're attacking the knight with their bishop over there. Okay. Well, if they take that and I take back, then that bishop is undefended and they'll just take that too. So this person apparently has played the English before. Okay. I'm going to pull the bishop back. And then if they take that, I'll just open it up this way, I guess. Or should I open it up that way? I don't know. I think if I open this way, I would keep those four pawns together. It looks like I should be able to castle now. I am going to do that. And then, oh, you know, I could have blocked that bishop with this pawn, maybe. But then they could have taken it, and if I took back, they would have gotten a pawn out of that deal. Okay. Really don't know. I mean, I can attack the queen here and send it running, but I don't know where it's going to go. I guess I should get out my light squared bishop at this point. Oh, now if they take the knight, I have to take this way. Oops, I just realized that. But again, I don't face this opening often enough to have developed a defense against it. I was just thinking of getting out my light squared bishop this way. Oh, which would leave that pawn undefended from the queen. Maybe I should bring my rook over after they move. Looks like they're letting their clock run down so that they will have the same amount of time as me. That's nice of them, I guess. Or maybe they genuinely don't know what to do. If I were a hobo, I think I might play one of these. Okay, that is intended to do something. I guess protect this pawn. I'm going to move my rook over so that I can get this bishop out and that pawn will be protected. Oh, they're going to do that. Okay, well, I just lost a piece for nothing. Because if I take back, they'll just get my rook. All right, I just lost a piece, but I'm going to keep playing because I'm on video and who knows? Maybe we'll pull this out. Oh, they're probably just going to play that pawn now. No, they're going to pull that all the way back. Okay. I have no idea. Well, I will say this. The hobo is rated much higher than me in both Blitz and in Bullet. About 200 points higher than me in Blitz and 100 points higher than me in Bullet. So it's no surprise that they're doing better than me in Rapid. I don't know. Maybe at this point my strategy should just be to move faster. Maybe they felt bad for me. What? Okay. The same thing happened in my previous video, the last time I tried to play. This time it was move 12. Last time I think it was move 15. After I played move 15, my opponent resigned. This time it was move 12 and my opponent resigned. And I just gained 9 points of rating for it. I'm curious if my opponent is trying to, what's that called? Sandbagging. I'm going to check their rapid score here. Oh no, they just don't play a lot of rapid games. It looks, well, they've played a bunch of them today apparently because their highest rating ever, earlier this month. Their highest rating ever was earlier this month and their lowest rating ever was on the same day. And their longest streak was also that day to the next day. They won 6 games and also on that day they lost 5 games. Their current streak is losing 2 games, and that's today, by the way. I know you won't watch this on February 28th, but that's when we're playing it, is on February 28th. All right, well, let's go back here and click the analysis It does not appear that my opponent was sandbagging. It appeared they genuinely made a mistake, or were just tired of this game. I thought maybe they just gave me the bishop back because they felt bad for getting one of my pieces, but apparently not. Apparently they just made a mistake. But let's go back. Okay, I had an inaccuracy on move 7, and yeah, that last move of theirs was the mistake according to the graph that you really can't quite see there, or it was counted as a blunder on their part. Oh, my rook b8 was a blunder. That's because it gave up that piece, I guess. Well, let's just look at this really quick. I'm going to turn on the lines up there, and I should have played knight to f6 here, which I did, and they played g3, which was one of their top 2 moves. I played bishop to b4, which was my top move, and they played queen to b3, which actually gave me a slight advantage. If only I had played knight to c. Well, that's my top move, according to Stockfish. That's what I played. But they played bishop to g2, and what I should have done here was castle. That's what it says. I should have castled. But okay, the reason that I didn't was because I thought they were going to take this, and then I would lose my bishop. Wait, okay, so if I had castled here, wouldn't they have taken that? It says that would have been a mistake on their part. Oh, because I could take here and not lose my bishop, and then it would be up to them which one to take back. They could either bring their bishop back or take here, but not both. And if they brought their bishop back, then I could save my bishop this way. Not here, apparently. I'm curious as to why not bishop to d4, because I know they could challenge it with the pawn, but then I could save it. I guess then they could bring another pawn, but I could take that pawn, and then if they took, I could take back. Yeah, I don't know why bishop. Oh, because of the knight. They would develop a piece with tempo. That's why bishop to d4 would be bad. Okay, so that's what should have happened there. I should have castled and not been worried about that. Okay, but instead I brought this bishop back. They should have played. They had several decent options, but they played e3, which I wasn't sure about e3. I didn't know if they were thinking about putting one of the knights there or possibly preparing a d4 push. It says I should have played knight to b4 here. Really? What would knight to b4 would have been aiming for d3, which would have cost them their right to castle. Okay, but if I had played that, they would have played knight to f3. Is that what? It says they would have played knight to f3, and then I wouldn't have checked? It says I could have. It's one of my top 2 moves. But e4, oh, e4 would have come with tempo, forcing them to move their knight someplace. Okay, now knight to d3 is my top move. Yeah, that's why knight to b4 was suggested, because it aims here, and they have to move the king. Whichever one of these moves that they choose, that's the only moves that they have. Oh, d1 would be a huge blunder, it says. Oh, because then I would fork the king and the rook. Okay. e2 would have been the best, and then I would just play d5. I thought at that point I would take the bishop, but maybe not. Wait. Sorry, it says if they played e2, I would play d5. Okay, well, I know this is an imaginary scenario. It's hypothetical because I didn't get here in this game. But if I played d5, wouldn't they just take my knight? No, they wouldn't. Okay, because that would be a discover check with my queen if they took my knight right now. Now it says they might take this pawn with their knight or with their pawn. Their pawn is better. So if they took with their pawn, then I would put my knight here, threatening their queen, which would have to go there, and then I don't understand how all that would have been great after they played there. I did go ahead and castle now because my bishop was safe, and that was fine. My opponent still has a very slight advantage. They played a3, which just for a second was listed among their best moves. And again, I should have played knight to a5 now, because now I can't play knight to b4. Should have played knight to a5, and then it says their queen would have come up here beside my knight. What? Oh, it's changing its mind. But first it said queen to a4. And then, look at this. Oh, c5 would defend my knight with the queen. What? Wouldn't that also defend? Oh, that would hang the rook. Wow. But I don't see how that is my best move. I really don't. But that's what knight to a5. Oh, now it's saying a6 is my best move. Or d6 is right there with them. And that's what I played. And they played d3, and then I blundered. I should have played bishop to f5 here, or rook to e8. Okay, but this was my blunder because it gave up the knight. And I realized it as soon as they took it. So my opponent was very sharp here, realizing that once I move the rook over, the rook is undefended. So if I take the bishop, they would get my rook here and then come out with the pawn on their way out to safety. But wait, it still says my best move is to take that, is to take. I was down +5 here, but it says my best move is to give up the rook, take the bishop, let them have my rook, and then play d5. And then, and then they would take that pawn. But that's what I said. Yeah, so I would lose a rook and a pawn for taking that bishop. I played a move that's not even listed up there at all. Okay, and it takes us to +6, so it's worse than +5 now. All right, they're supposed to bring their bishop back, which they did. c6 was among my best moves. That's among their best moves. I brought it back to where I was supposed to. And then my opponent intentionally blundered. I don't have any other explanation for that. Wait, I wonder if that was a mouse slip. Now that I'm looking at it, I bet that was a mouse slip. I bet they meant to go right there. Surely they didn't mean to give it up for a pawn. Okay, I bet that's what it was. But regardless, they resigned right after that. Notice, though, that when they resigned, I was only ahead -1.5, 1 point whatever. I went down to +6 something, or 7 if I'm, whatever it said, and didn't resign. So I won the game. Let that be a lesson, especially early in the game. Lots of pieces still on the board. Don't resign just because you lost a piece. I almost did, and I almost deleted the video, but I just decided to keep playing, and it worked. So once again, sorry this wasn't more interesting or a longer, more complex game than it was, but it happens. And now it's happened to me twice in a row. Hopefully your games are going well. Hopefully everything else is going well. And if not, hopefully it will soon. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.